In today's episode, we will talk about why soft or durable skills are so important in business education and the role that they play in program and career success. Let's talk about holistic success. Hi, everyone. I'm Kelly Dore, co-founder and VP of Science and Innovation at Acuity Insights. Welcome to this episode of the Holistic Success Show. Here with me today is Geoff Coons, Associate Director of the full-time MBA program at Smith School of Business at Queen's University in Kingston, Canada, a top business school not just in Canada, but globally. I'm excited to dive into the topic of soft skills that are so important, not just for business programs, but for the career business graduates step into. More recently, I've heard these skills actually referred to as durable skills by key firms such as Deloitte and Accenture. And Geoff, I'm really excited to get your take on this. So welcome, Geoff.
It's great to be with you. I've been looking forward to the conversation today and happy to be a part of this. Thank you.
Super. Well, we appreciate you taking the time, and let's get started. Geoff, maybe we can start by, why are these soft skills so important in a business program? And are there some skills that are maybe more important than others?
Well, I've been thinking a lot about this question, and what I often tell my students is that all MBA students are smart. All MBA students have some level of post-undergrad professional work experience. Most MBA students have a GMAT or a GRE test as a part of their profile. These concepts are almost table stakes at this stage. So what else you got? What else you got is basically what I put it to them. This is a competitive landscape that MBA students are trying to navigate. Competition for top jobs is fierce. Students can elevate themselves from what is written on paper, on a resume or a transcript, if they demonstrate strengths in their team skills, their relationship to a career coach or an executive coach to identify specific areas of improvement, verbal and written communication skills, leadership skills, cultural sensitivity, active listening, motivation to provide social impact, an appropriate sense of humor. These are all areas and all aspects that are positive and sought after in the marketplace. So you still need the intelligence, you still need that academic piece that remains critical, you still need the relevant work experience, but companies want to see some meat on that professional bone. So if you find specific ways in those emotional intelligence pieces to separate yourself, you'll be better off.
That's, I think, also a key point, what you said there at the end. It's not that we're saying academic skills or these metrics aren't important in any way, shape, or form. In fact, they're very important. But it's sort of how these two complement each other to really create something maybe greater than the sum of its parts that students can bring to the table. I'm wondering, when you talk to employers, the folks who are looking at all your MBA graduates and hopefully picking a lot of them to come and work with them, what did they say about this topic? Has the need for these softer, durable skills evolved over time? Has it changed from maybe a few years ago to what folks are talking about now?
I think if you get deep into the granular, some of these areas will change over time. But what I see as the consistency is employers want team skills. They want people who can coach and be coached, not make the same mistake twice. They can learn fast in an ever-changing environment. And they want new employees to have client-facing skills. Can they present effectively in person and online, as we're doing today? Can they create an effective multimedia presentation to augment that message? Can they make an impactful, respectful argument? Can they problem solve? Can they negotiate? One of the pieces that I find very interesting is a willingness of someone's ability to address their own vulnerabilities. If they're open to that feedback from a mentor, a professor, a coach, what skills need to be enhanced specifically? What training or accreditation could be added? A student's presence of mind that they don't know everything is also welcomed, for sure.
Yeah, that sort of very growth mindset approach to learning, because as you alluded to, things are changing a lot and very rapidly in the world that we're in today. And so how are they going to adjust? How are they going to, be the employee of tomorrow, with their skills? So we've talked about grad students, we've talked about employers. I know you work on the graduate side of business education, but I'd love to get your view on the importance of this in undergraduate programs as well. Is there something, along that we need to place this emphasis all along? I come from the framing with background in assessments that when we assess it, we're indicating its importance. But I wonder whether or not, is that appropriate in undergraduate education, do you think, or how do these skills play out there?
I think it is because in the simplest terms, if you think about the younger students out there, those that are in that post high school undergrad age group, um, they don't have the relevant work experience per se, but they still have opportunities to make impact in other ways, to rise above and to find those opportunities that are so valuable. So when any younger student who has some of these traits and skills that I've noted earlier will only position themselves for success in the future as students, as young professionals, as citizens of this ever-changing world. Younger students can get involved in things like case competitions, clubs at the academic level. They can get involved with community service, public speaking opportunities. I'm thinking about teaching assistant or research opportunities, even at a younger age in undergrad. I've seen it, especially during the pandemic, where students were finding ways to connect with faculty. Even part-time work on the side on top of academia is a critical piece for some students and a necessity for some as well. They have to work while they learn. Everyone is capable in different ways. Everyone balances and manages time and prioritizes that at different levels of proficiency. Anything that a young student can demonstrate in this area will benefit them, perhaps in graduate work, but certainly in their post-undergrad work as well.
So, Geoff, I'm wondering too how some of these skills relate to their ability to actually succeed in program as well. You've talked about, the casework and the case studies that they can do, the, research or opportunities they can do with faculty or with others. I'm wondering about how these skills actually play out to helping them not just succeed at graduation, but succeed in the program itself. And as you sort of highlighted, differentiate themselves.
What I often tell my MBA students, and I know we're speaking with undergrad students in this particular example, is choose one and choose it well and do it well. Some students at any level have a tendency to over-select, to fill their cup with things that they might think benefit them, whereas it just thins them out too much. We have to be respectful of our time. We have to prioritize. There's only 24 hours in a day. So if you can learn this at a young age, what is effective use of my time? What is an effective skill that I can enhance while I'm doing my coursework, my project work, my teamwork? How to enhance that more effectively? Not only does that give the student additional profile, it gives them additional confidence. It also talks a little bit about what defines them, the personal brand, so to speak. If you can justify and make an effective argument about why you're doing these things to enhance who you are and where you're going as a part of a plan, I don't know if this makes sense. I see the students that deliberately take these things on at a specific juncture in their academic career can lead to something else. They're not just doing it because their neighbor's doing it, or they're not doing it because, a counselor suggested, oh, you should join this particular club or you should get involved in this particular activity. I like the students that have a plan from the earliest days and having it build to something else.
Yeah, and I liked how you also spoke about, you know, while they're creating sort of their own plan, they're also taking on feedback from others, whether that's from their group or from a mentor or a coach of some sort, to really help nurture maybe some of those aspects that they're developing. Maybe those aren't their superpowers, but they're
Yeah,
being conscious. And so, do you think they're seeking out activities that also build those attributes as well?
you're right. And our particular business school does very well with its relationships with our students. the career services group at Smith. We're known for that coaching model, but that's very much a two-person relationship. You can't, I use the gym metaphor a lot. It's like that gym metaphor where the membership card stays in your pocket and it never gets used. Unless you go to these appointments and build the relationships with a coach and build upon the previous meeting, you don't get in shape by going once. You get in shape by going multiple times over multiple months. And the students that get better at any aspect, I'm using a career coach example here, the ones that truly excel in those spaces are the ones where you can see the growth over multiple months.
I love that analogy. I think it fits nicely too, actually, with sort of the growth mindset that we were talking about earlier. You have to want to grow and develop in these areas too.
Mhm.
Um, Now, taking it further along to sort of seeing their graduates and those, your alumni who are, highly engaged, do you see a correlation between your graduates who demonstrate these softer skills, whether it's the leadership or the communication or the teamwork, and their future success as business leaders who have that meaningful societal or community impact?
Absolutely. I call it seeing the world further beyond 5 feet in front of your face.
Love that.
How can you demonstrate meaningful impact to your future work team, your class, a program, a future company of employment? Maybe you're working within a not-for-profit in your community. When I think about all the great students that have become alumni over the last decade of my work with Smith, the ones that I remain connected to are the ones that have those so-called soft skills, the durable skills, the emotional intelligence piece. Getting back to an earlier comment I made about, academic strength and professional work experience is almost table stakes. That growth that can come from the emotional intelligence piece, the ability to work effectively in a team or a small group, to have those client-facing skills that companies are looking for. The ones that do it well can build upon that and excel over multiple years of a career. And it's not always specific to one company. I've seen MBAs. What I often tell my students is the MBAs go in two different directions. They go up or they go out, meaning going up, meaning they ascend the ladder of success within a specific company or a bank or consulting firm or technology company, or they go out. They get poached by a client, or they see something interesting in another line of work, or through their network, they discover that, hey, my friend from the program is hiring on their team, and that'd be a great fit for me, and off they go in that direction. So my point here is that if you have those skills in those areas and you can build a network and you can build relationships and you can build upon previous successes, you'd be surprised in how many different directions a post-MBA life can go in.
That sounds pretty exciting for a lot of folks and lots of, options because we are all so different. So it's, being able to play to our strengths. I'm going to put you on the spot because this is maybe my pet peeve, having worked in the area of professionalism or soft skills or non-cognitive skills. It's called so many things for so long. I recently attended the AACSB Dean's Conference, well, last February in San Antonio. And in the opening session, they actually had a panel of industry leaders from major consulting firms like Deloitte and Accenture, as I mentioned earlier. And they really highlighted the difference between what they called perishable and durable skills. And what they meant by that is technology and knowledge are changing so incredibly rapidly in the world that we live in. And I don't think that's changing anytime soon.
Absolutely not.
Um, and that these skills are almost perishable. You need to learn how to have a technical skill, but you also need to relearn these skills constantly. Whereas they really want individuals who, as we've talked about, have that growth mindset, but really are the leaders of tomorrow who can solve these, what I call wicked problems, that we can't even conceptualize right now. These are the problems that are so complex, and that they need that adaptability, that willingness to learn, that teamwork and leadership, and really communication skills as well, to solve those. And that's what they refer to as their durable skills. So, not saying again that the technical skills aren't essential to build on that foundation, but it is a foundation of whether it's teamwork and communication. We've heard so many times that somebody has all the knowledge, but they actually don't have the ability to get their point across, whether it's to their team or to their employer, or if they're a consultant to the company that they're hired to help. And there's a lot of conversation in biz ed that these soft skills should instead be called durable skills. I know that Satya Nadella, who's the CEO of Microsoft, actually said that empathy, for example, should not be called a soft skill since it's one of the hardest to learn. And so I've put my opinion out there of how I feel about these. But maybe tell me what you think. Are we doing these skills a disservice by calling them soft skills? Do you think people maybe don't resonate with them because of that?
I think so. I think I like the word durable. When you use that word earlier, I like that a lot because durable projects strength. It projects something that's built to last and can stand the test of time. If these strengths in this category can endure, they can also be portable to another organization. It's like that old suitcase you got in your closet you don't get rid of. It's durable. You keep it for many, many years. Well, I think these skills can be carried with you as well as you move through life and work. When I think back in my own experience in areas in which I've worked, higher education, not-for-profit, politics, I see a lot of those transferable skills carrying on from one role or one industry or one sector from one to another.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's so critical. People shouldn't necessarily be defined by one specific role or one specific industry. My wife has worked for the same organization for 26 years. That's just unheard of nowadays. And I compliment her on that a lot for her loyalty and longevity. But I think that she is in the minority now. I think that a lot of professionals will change roles, change jobs, change companies multiple times over the course of a lifetime. So these durable skills that you mentioned and that we've noted through this dialogue, if you have them and they endure as that old suitcase, they can serve you the test of time as you move through, for sure.
I love that. Great analogies today that I think really hit home. So, Geoff, thank you so much for joining us today and for all your insights and for what has truly been such a great discussion. To all of you, thank you for watching or listening. If you haven't subscribed to our show already, please do so. And make sure you share this episode with those who might find it useful. And with that, we'll catch you in the next episode. If you enjoyed this episode of our show, please be sure to check out the other episodes. And don't forget to subscribe. We have a new episode releasing every week.